hello, and how are you, everybody? We're back. AFC Championship week. This is the farthest you and I, our web conversations, ever gone, Matt, in my time here. So we're excited to be here. We're inside the Bills practice facility on the Wednesday before Sunday's AFC Championship game between the Bills and the Chiefs. We've been saying it ever since the Baltimore game. It felt like if the Bills had a path to the Super Bowl, it was only right, Matt, if the Kansas City Chiefs stood as the very last test that was in their way.
That doesn't mean that the Bills want to play the Chiefs. By the way, it just means that it's poetic and it's fitting. They would rather be hosting this game against the Texans or against whatever other team.
Sure.
But it felt like they had to go through the Chiefs. And now that's what we're talking about. It's Josh Allen, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's the team. This will be their 9th matchup since back in 2020. It's their 4th time meeting in the playoffs. They already played them in the AFC Championship. The layers are just, there's so many layers to it. Xavier Worthy, there's Andy Reid and Sean McDermott, there's the Patrick Mahomes draft with the traded pick from the Bills. There's just so many layers here, so it is definitely fitting. It felt like this is what had to happen.
And the first thing that jumps to me is always, it's another showdown between, I almost said Brady and Manning, but that's what the comparison is. It's Allen and Mahomes comparing to Allen or Brady and Manning. You see how I'm messed up here?
Yeah.
Because the new generation of the quarterback battle, compared to like what you and I saw growing up, it is here. It is at the forefront. Josh Allen has had success in these moments. It's just been the defense that hasn't been able to kind of do their part in recent games. Now, last year, there's a multitude of factors. Tyler Bass misses a game-tying field goal. But I'm really eager to see if Josh Allen can finally take that next step and see if his team can finally get over the final hurdle that stands between them and getting to a Super Bowl. But again, Patrick Mahomes, they weren't supposed to be this good this year, Matt. But because he's Patrick Mahomes, because Andy Reid coaches that team, here we are. They're in this position.
Yeah, I'll specifically more talk about just the Bill side of things because obviously, like, Patrick Mahomes is going to make some spectacular plays, and he is unbelievable in the playoffs, especially unbelievable at home. So the Bills are going to have to deal with that. But I do believe that the Bills are more better suited to have sustained success because of the way their offense operates this season. It is not like, hey, Josh, go put on the cape and do everything. It's, we're going to try and establish the line of scrimmage. We're going to take what the defense gives us, and then when we need you to have a 4th and 2 run against the Chiefs and get into the end zone and seal the game, then you need to step up in those moments. So it's a different Bills offense than the Chiefs have seen over the course of the last 5 years or so. Now, that is not to say that they won't be able to figure out ways to stop it. But I do think we're going to see a lot of James Cook in this game. We're going to see a lot of Ty Johnson in this game. And then you got to pick your spots. I was listening to Mina Kimes earlier today. She was talking about how the Chiefs have struggled this year against tight ends. Maybe this is a Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox game.
Boy, wouldn't that really be good for the narrative of finally getting Dalton Kincaid going, right?
Yeah, so there's a lot that the Bills are going to need to figure out, but I trust Joe Brady. I trust the coaching staff that they will at least be prepared and go in with a strong game plan.
The one thing I trust, too, with the offense, Matt, is that they haven't made a mistake. They have not made any costly turnovers so far this playoffs.
I agree, but it also scares me because it's like, well, what if you have one?
Well,
then that's
right.
It's totally fair.
I mean, no, it's because look what happened with the Ravens. They had 3, and they lost the game by 2 points. Like, all 3 teams, aside from the Bills, so it's the Bills, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Commanders on the NFC side,
they all won the turnover battle.
And they've all had 0 turnovers this entire playoff series. So that's important. And I think, like, to your point there, that's why this complementary style of football on offense has worked so well for the Bills. If they want to have success, they're going to have to play a perfect game. There is really no, like, margin for error because you're going against Kansas City. When it got down to it in the regular season game, and Sean McDermott goes for it on 4th and 2 when they're up 23-21, like, those moments are going to have to happen again. But you need to be in a position where it's 4th and 2 and you're not getting behind the chain with penalties, and you also need to have a lead where you're not giving it up short field to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs with costly turnovers.
Yeah, so I was looking at the Chiefs this season. They lost 2 games, 1 game when it really mattered to the Bills, and then their last regular season game.
Everybody sat.
They have not scored more than 30 points. They've scored 30 points a couple times. So I feel like in our heads we have to go, okay, well, let's just say you see the absolute best version of the Chiefs offense, which is not out of the realm of possibility, and they flirt with that 30 number. Can the Bills keep up, or do you trust the Bills defense enough to keep them below that number like they did earlier in the season when they held them to 21 points? Now, you will immediately go to the injuries. Well, the Chiefs were without Isaiah Pacheco, ago, and it was before Hollywood Brown was back, and there was just a very different team. Keep in mind, though, the Bills were also without in that game Spencer Brown, Dalton Kincaid, Dwayne Smoot, Matt Milano, and Keon Coleman. So a lot of notable players. This is a fantastic matchup. It's an outstanding. It's a reason they're the two teams left standing.
Both teams need to be healthy. This is the best version of that matchup. Is if everybody's healthy, it's what everybody wants to see.
I believed all season the three best teams in the AFC, and they were in a league of their own, were the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. I feel like the Ravens might have had the highest upside of anybody, at least offensively, but we saw sometimes make costly mistakes. The Bills and the Chiefs are a lot alike in the sense that they haven't made the costly mistakes. They've gotten plays from their defense, and offensively, they're led by what I think are the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. So there's a lot of similarities. It's weird because the Bills' win against the Ravens felt very much like a Chiefs win against teams in the past. It was like you win the turnover battle, you control the line of scrimmage, you make plays when you need to.
Squeak
and you
one out, you had a couple things go your way.
It's going to be a fantastic, and there's a reason why, White. There is a reason why, right, that the betting line is so close. Like, it's 1.5, and the Bills are on the road. It's basically the same line as it was this past week, but except the Bills are on the road, and it's not like they're at home. It's going to be a fantastic game. It always is when these two teams play.
Last week, you and I, we were getting into leading the charge. I was pretty 50-50 all week with the Ravens and the Bills matchup. It maybe swayed 51-49 in each direction. How do you feel about this matchup right now, in your opinion?
Well, that's what's tricky. My brain tells me that this is a matchup where I think the Bills can have success. But my gut tells me, Matt, what are you doing? You have watched their season end to the Kansas City Chiefs since covering this team 3 times.
Yeah.
So I that's what I struggle with. And I'm going to go back and forth probably all week because my brain is, hey, your offense is more efficient than it has been. You're protecting the football. Defensively, you're getting better. Like, these are things of, hey, this is what you want to see. But it's that team in that stadium. The one thing I'll say, though, pretty definitively, the moment and the stage are not too big for them. And I do think that matters. I feel like in 2020 it might have been a little bit too big for them.
They're almost overachieving in a sense. It's like, whoa, look where we are.
They alluded to that a little bit today. They were talking about how then it was nervous, it was anxious, but now it's grateful. And I feel like that's the right mindset to have.
Yeah.
That's what you expect them to say, but I buy it. I think that's really what they feel. So I don't know. I'm same thing as I was last week. You go back and forth. I feel like there's some matchups the Bills can win, but I also just need to see them do it against this team in the postseason.
It's the way that, like, I'm confident in the Bills for a couple reasons, and the main one that I'm going to, why I'm not teeter-tottering so much and back and forth like I was against getting ready for the Baltimore week, was just the confidence factor, and also, like, the Bills have an opportunity here. If you can't beat the Chiefs, then when is it going to happen? How much longer is it going to continue to be the sore in your back here? But, like, you were at Josh's presser after practice today. I was over with that Oliver, and that's normally he's a good soundbite. He'll talk to us, and he's normally pretty, like, reserved. But he even spoke to, like, hey, this isn't a normal game. This game means a lot to us. And to guys like him who watched a confetti fall in that AFC Championship game back 4 years ago, I like that team confidence. You almost feel like there's a little bit of, like, that, hey, I got to prove it, but also, like, to your point, this moment isn't too big for us. And I think that's important. I think this locker room kind of embodies that right now because, again, they realize, like, Doctor Strange from the Marvel movies, like when he's holding up the one to, like, Tony Stark.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
People at home will. You got to watch Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Mel, I know, is a big Marvel fan. She's behind the camera. She knows this. He points a one to Tony Stark.
I know what you're referring to. Okay,
and he goes, this is our one opportunity. I feel like Doctor Strange is like Roger Goodell, and he's pointing the one, and Josh Allen's like, me? Sean McDermott's like, me? They got one opportunity. I think this is their best shot. So I feel more confident. I don't want to give percentages to start jinxing anything, but I feel way more confident in the Bills' success than I did last week.
Yeah, saying you're confident on camera can go really poorly. So, but you
I'm not giving percent. I said I feel last week I was 50-50. I feel confident. Confident could be 51-49, but it's still confident.
As a professional waffler, you waffled enough that you gave yourself the out of, like, I'm feeling pretty confident, but not fully there. We should probably talk about injuries before we wrap up. So this is Wednesday that we're recording this. This was just a walkthrough. Cornerback Christian Benford in concussion protocol, but a limited participant. That's very similar to what we saw with Ray Davis last week. Now, not all concussions are the same, but it's at least a good sign that he was able to be out here in practice, and I saw him working afterwards pretty extensively. That's a good sign. Matt Milano, hamstring soreness. Hamstrings are always weird. Sean McDermott said he doesn't know if it's an injury or soreness. That, to me, is a little bit more promising, but it also could be mind games of them trying to make the Chiefs think that Milano is either okay or not okay.
100%.
So we'll kind of put that one on the back burner for at least the rest of this week. And then the other one is Taylor Rapp. He did not practice. I mean, he was carted off the field 4 days ago. So when that happened, it didn't look good. For it to be a day-to-day prognosis is certainly promising, but I would still just kind of educated guess here, feel like it's a long shot. And then Deion Dawkins is sick. Feels like there's like a little bit of a bug or something going around here. But it is Wednesday, so like we were saying.
Better now. Better be sick now. Get the vitamin C in. I got a great vitamin C little remedy that I use, and it's great. It's awesome.
Is it emergency?
Oh, it's emergency with the vitamin C drops.
Zicam,
a little bit of everything, and I pour that in a big glass of orange juice. If anybody needs it this time of year, you know, let me know.
Or if you would like to sponsor these videos, let us know. That's Dom Timmons. I'm Matt Bovee. We'll talk to you guys later this week.